Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thanks for joining me on the mat today. I'm here to guide you through a sequence where we're going to celebrate the fire element. So, fire can be very destructive and wild. It can also be a very purifying substance when you think about embers that have burned all the impurities away. So, we're going to move our body from side to side, really celebrating the arcs and the wildness of fire today. In yoga, there's a concept called tapas, which refers to our fiery disciplines. So those things that we worked really, really hard for, the things that we are ambitious for and have passion for, the things that live inside of our heart. So we're going to celebrate that by getting a little bit warm. I'll give lots of opportunity to dial the heat up, or you can take every opportunity to flow with me, but also know that you can choose to back off and just stay in stillness and allow those embers to burn. If you have a block, it could be handy but not necessary. And let's begin. We're going to start seated onto our knees. You can feel free to sit on that block right away if that suits you, or straight back onto the heels. Let's bring our hands over the heart and take a few deep breaths into that space there. Try to notice what lives inside your heart, what your ambitions and your passions are. Let's dedicate our practice to those things today. Allow your eyes to open up and bring your hands to the top of your thighs. So take your right fingertips, let them wander off to the right. Other arm can come by the ear for a big side stretch over, then allow your hips to draw a little bit to the left. Look up towards the sky and let the left side of the body really stretch out. Come on back up through center. Now it's the left hand that can walk on out to the side. Right arm comes by the ear. And let the hips drop the other way. Big stretch for the right side of the body and look on up towards the sky. Come on back up through center. Take your right hand, bring it to the left knee. Other hand can draw behind you. Lift the spine as tall as you can and rotate from the chest around. Now taking your left hand to the right knee, other hand goes behind. Lift the spine long and take a look over your right shoulder. Come on back through center, and now we're going to walk our hands forwards to tabletop. So I'm facing the long edge of my mat. Feel free to do the same if you don't have much room on your left and right side. Otherwise, you can face forwards as you would normally in our sequences. All right, let's take your right leg, point it back behind you with the top of the toenail onto the ground. So you're pointing your toes. Nice and slowly, we're going to rotate that leg out to the right, draw a little semicircle, and then point it back behind. Do that a couple more times. Use the hands on the ground really to plant it there. Good. And the third time, you slowly rotate out to the right. Let the foot find the ground, toes face forwards. Invite a little bit of cat and cow into the spine. Inhale as the belly drops. You shine the heart to the front of the room. And exhale, round the spine. Go back and forth 3 more times with breath. Finding a neutral spine, let your hands walk towards your knees and stack yourself vertically on top of your hips. Let the right hand rest on that extended leg as the other arm stretches up. Reach up a little bit taller and then wave the body over to the right, looking up towards the sky. So we're really going to let the side of the body stretch out today. Send your breath into those spaces. We're giving that extra room. Take your left hand, bring it under the shoulder, either to the mat or to your block. And then bring the right arm right by the ear, stretching out the top side of the body, which is your right side right now. We're going to let the fingertips get a little droopier towards the ground. Pull your right rib cage and hip towards the sky and really plant that right foot that's extended. Don't forget to look on up and roll your shoulder open. Bring both hands back forwards, walk them towards your tabletop, and let that right knee come back under your hip. We'll head over to the other side. Left toes point back behind so the toenail is grazing the ground. And give a little semicircle out to the left and bring it on back behind. Do that 2 more times. Little semicircles getting into our hips and stabilizing through our hands. As it comes out to the left side this 3rd time, just place the foot fully onto the ground, toes facing forwards. 4 rounds of cat and cow. Inhale as the belly drops. Spread the collarbone wide, tailbone tips up. And exhale, round the spine. 3 more to go. Let the breath guide you. Let these natural movements take over. And coming back to neutral, hands can walk towards yourself. Lift as tall as you can. Left hand finds the extended leg. Right arm comes by the ear. Take a breath in, grow a little taller towards the sun, and then bow the body over to the left. Take the right palm, bringing it under the shoulder, whether it's on the ground or the block is up to you. Other arm stretches as far as you can go. Then allow the body to lift. So the hand reaches towards the ground, left side of the body reaches towards the sunlight, and keep that foot planted to the ground. Begin wandering your way back forwards to your tabletop, and the left knee can come underneath. Switching back over to the right, either bringing the foot back just as it was with the toe onto the ground or float the leg. And take the right leg out to the right, whether you're dragging or hovering it, and then point it back behind. 2 more of those. Rotate, bring it out to the right, then point it back behind. Last round. And we'll bring the foot to the ground. This time, let the left hand stay heavy. Reach the right arm to the sky for a big breath in. And as you breathe out, bend the elbow, bring the hand behind the head. Inhale, roll your shoulder open. And as you exhale, point the elbow to the ground and look at your bottom hand. Inhale, open up that heart space. Exhale, rotate closed. A couple more just like that. The next time your elbow points to the sky, keep it there. Then let the arm reach up instead. We're going to get a little lighter on the bottom hand, so tent into that hand onto the fingers. And allow your top hand to pull you all the way up and back. So the right arm reaches behind you, left arm forwards. Let's face forward, so take that rotation out of the spine. Then bend both elbows to bring them to the back of the head. Use those hands to lift the spine a little bit taller. And then we're going to sway the body over to the right, over that extended leg. Come on back through center. Sway on over to the left. Do this about 3 more times. It's like a flame just dancing back and forth. And as you start dipping towards the left again, pause. Take the bottom hand to the ground under the shoulder, and then extend the top arm again by the ear. Let the fingertips get droopy. Pull the right side of the body up towards the sky, and you could stay static or flow with me. As you inhale, stay where you are. As you exhale, take the hand, reach it towards the toes as you float the leg. Inhale, everything lowers, lift the top of the body up. And exhale, float and reach. 2 more. As your foot comes to the ground, bring your hand to the ground. Wander your way back forwards towards tabletop, and the right knee comes underneath of you. Heading to the other side, left leg points back. You could have the toe on the ground or float it. And rotate the left leg out to the side. Point the leg back behind and rotate around. 1 more. And as you kick it out to the side, bring the foot to the ground, toes face forward. Lean into the right palm as the left arm stretches to the sky. Inhale. And exhale, bend the elbow, hand comes to the back of the head. Inhale, roll your shoulder open. Exhale, point the elbow to the ground as you look at your bottom hand. Inhale, open up the heart space, loosen everything up. Exhale, look down. 2 more like that. Pointing your elbow back to the sky, and then reach the top arm up instead. Get a little lighter on the bottom hand, coming to tented fingers. Then let the left hand pull you all the way up and back. Face forwards, bring your arms with you. And now the left hand, or both hands, can come to the back of your head by bending the elbows. Take a big breath in, lengthen through the spine, and sway the body over to the left. Come on back through center and over to the right. Go back and forth 3 more times, just dancing in the flames. Find a little bit of freedom to your movements, but also lots of hard work, core work here, keeping the spine strong. As you begin to lean over to the right this last time, pause, hold yourself there, and take the right hand to the ground under the shoulder or perhaps back to the block. Stretch the left arm by the ear, hand reaches towards the ground, left side of the body up towards the sky. Take a breath in and exhale. Decide if you want to float the leg or stay where you are. 3 more. Inhale, lift the body up. Exhale, float the leg as you straighten everything out. 2 more. Let the foot find the ground, hand walks back forwards towards tabletop, and your knee comes underneath of you. All right, I'm going to rotate back around to face the front of my mat. Tuck both toes under, and then send your hips nice and high, downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment here to settle in. You can pedal through the feet, look left and right, and really use the hands on the ground to help support the weight. Now let's bring your heels back to stillness, and we're going to find this twisted downward facing dog in all of our sequences. So let's practice now. Pivot your toes towards the right, heels towards the left, and then bend your knees a lot. Really plant the hands and press them in the mat so your hips go back. Really celebrating the right side of the body right now as it stretches out. And let's go the other way, toes to the left, heels to the right. Bend your knees, stretching out the left side. Pivot the toes ahead of the heels. And as you inhale, wave the body forwards to plank. As you exhale, let's lower all the way to our stomachs. You decide how you get there. Point your toes back behind, hands lightly by your sides. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, a small lift of the chest, small cobra. Exhale, lower down. 2 more. Let's press with the palms. Bring your hips to heels in a child's pose. Keep both arms extending out ahead and try to wiggle them forwards just a little bit more to find extra length under the arms all the way down to your hips. Take both hands, wander them over to the right side. Left arm stretches a little bit further and send your weight back into the heels as you breathe into the left side of the body. Walk your left or your hands both over to the left this time. Right hand reaches a little further and really anchor back into the heels. This time it's the right side that gets the extra length. Stretch both arms straight ahead. Pull yourself back up to table. Toes can tuck under. Hips rise, downward facing dog. Let's look ahead towards the hands. Walk our way up to meet them. And then bend your knees enough that you can just let the body dangle and sway. Bending your right knee a lot to keep the right hand on the ground. And stretch the left arm to the sky as you look up at it. Switching sides, bend the left knee as the left hand drops down. Now the right arm gets to stretch up. Let's do that one more time each side. Pedal into the feet, right knee bends, left arm lifts. And bend the left knee as the left hand drops down. Stretch the right arm to the sky. Both hands are turned to the ground. Inhale, walk the hands to the shins as you extend the spine forwards. Exhale, float back down. Come on all the way up to stand. Bring your arms with you. And exhale, hands down by your side. All right, we're going to get a little bit warmer today, but as mentioned, everything is optional. So feel free to join me for every flow or sit them out as you please. We're going to celebrate fire through warming the body in our sun salutations. We're going to get a little bit creative with them. So as you inhale, stretch the arms to the sky. We're going to scoop up the left wrist and sway the body over to the right. Inhale, rise back up through center, and exhale, fold forwards over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift the spine. Exhale, touch the earth. Step your way back to plank. Right foot, then left foot. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower. For this first one, I'll go to my belly. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Small cobra, up dog. And exhale, meeting downward facing dog. Let's pivot the toes to the right, heels to the left. Bend your knees. Going the other way, toes to the left, heels to the right. Bend your knees. Swivel the toes ahead of the heels. Take a breath in to let the heels rise up. And as you exhale, step or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. And inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands down beside you. Bring your feet to hip distance if they aren't already, and we'll continue on warming the body. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Hold onto the right wrist and exhale over to the left. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, fold forwards over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, touch the ground. Step back to plank, left foot then right foot. Take a breath in. And exhale, you choose chaturanga or back to the belly. Inhale for a back bend of your choice, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. In this down dog, swivel your toes to the left, heels to the right. Bend your knees. Toes to the right, heels to the left. Bend your knees. Send your heels behind the toes. Take a breath in to let them rise up. And as you exhale, traveling forwards towards the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. And inhale, rising to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Feet hip distance. Inhale, arms lift. Scoop up the left wrist and exhale, sway the body over to the right. Inhale, lift through center. And exhale, fold forwards over your legs. This time, inhale, step the left leg back towards a lunge. Prepare yourself, and we're going to stand on up, high lunge, arms by the ears. Bring your right hand to your waist. Continue to stretch the left arm up. Take a breath in. We're going to fan this fire that lives inside of us. Sway the body over to the right. Inhale, lift the arm back up. Exhale, sway to the right. Inhale, lift tall. Exhale, bend to the right. One more. Inhale. And exhale. We'll hold this next one. Take a look up towards that sun. Do your best to steady your feet. Let's take a big breath in, lengthen that arm back out. And as we exhale, we're going to open up warrior two. Open up that back heel as you expand through the arms. Let's take a moment, look back at your back hand and let that arm pull you back. Now look forwards and allow that arm to pull you forwards. We're just going to let the rib cage surf back and forth a few times, loosening up that space. The heart can be free. Let those ambitions out. And then settle yourself in the center. Take your back hand to the back leg as you stretch the right arm to the sky. And both hands travel to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Now all flows are optional, but if you're joining me, inhale, come forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Swivel the toes to the right, heels to the left. Bend your knees. Toes to the left, heels to the right. Bend your knees. Toes come forwards with the heels. Take a breath in to lift the heels up. And exhale, step or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands down beside you. Inhale, arms stretch up. Hold onto the right wrist. Exhale, bow the body to the left. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, stepping back with the right leg nice and long towards a lunge. And prepare yourself to stand, high lunge. Take your left hand to your waist. Reach the right arm a little bit taller for a breath in. And exhale, sway the body to the left. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale to the left. Just fanning that flame 2 more times with breath. And this last time here, let the body stay in this bow shape. Take a look up at the sky as you steady your feet. Reach back to the sky, expand open, warrior 2. Let that back heel settle down. Switch your perspective. Look to the back hand. Pull that hand back as the ribs surf. And then look back forwards. Pull that forwards. A little tug of war with the arms. Find your center. So the spine is directly over the hips. Back hand can find the back leg. Left arm stretches to the sky. Bring both hands down to frame your front foot, and that foot stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhale, ride forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let the toes go to the left. Bend your knees. Toes point to the right. Bend your knees. Toes come forwards of the heels. Lift them high as you breathe in. As you breathe out, travel to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift the spine. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands rest down beside you. Inhale, arms come up. Hold onto the left wrist. And exhale, sway the body to the right. Inhale, travel back through center. And exhale, fold forwards over your legs. Inhale, step the left leg back. Steady the feet. We're coming back up, high lunge. Take a big breath in, stretching those hands up towards the sun. Keep the spine as it is. As you now sway the arms back behind you so the palms face each other. You could keep the hands just facing each other, squeezing the shoulder blades together, perhaps clasping the hands, right thumb on top of left. Really squeeze those shoulder blades, and then lift the heart space up, extending through the neck as well. Take 3 more deep breaths past the heart space all the way to the belly. We're going to open up to a warrior 2 shape in the legs. Keep the arms bound. For a big breath in, lift the spine a little bit taller. And as you breathe out, bowing towards your inner right knee. Lift those arms up if you want an extra shoulder stretch. Humble warrior. Let the hands pull to the low back, lead with the heart back up to stand, then reach those arms out, warrior 2. Straighten out your front leg, pivot the toes to the long edge of the mat, and then the heels in a little bit on an angle. Bend your knees, squeeze your glutes, and find a small bend in the elbows as well in our goddess pose. Let's begin just with a light pulse, bouncing the knees, finding those strong muscles, letting them warm up. Let's take our right forearm to our right thigh. Let the left arm come by the ear as you look up to the sky. And we'll go the other way, left forearm to left thigh. Right arm stretches by the ear. Come on back up through center as you straighten the legs, hands come to waist, and toes go ahead of the heels. Inhale, we'll grow a little taller. Exhale, fold over your legs, hands can find the ground. For this first one, let's walk our hands forwards, really clawing into the ground, clawing into the mat, whatever the hands are on. And then send your weight a little bit further back into the heels. Try to find a lot of length from the fingertips all the way to your hip creases. Let's start looking towards your right foot as you wander your hands around, coming into a lunge. And step on back, downward facing dog. If you're flowing with me, inhale, forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Toes go to the right. Bend your knees. Toes go to the left. Bend your knees. Heels go behind the toes. Take a breath to lift them up. And as you exhale, we're traveling to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, float back down. And inhale, rise all the way to stand. Exhale, mountain pose. Inhale, arms lift up. Hold onto the right wrist and sway the body to the left. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale, fold from the waist over your legs. Inhale, stepping the right leg back. Prepare the feet. We're going to rise on up, high lunge. Lift the arms by the ears, stretch to the sky. Keep the spine as it is, as arms stretch back behind, palms facing each other. Keep that engagement between the shoulder blades and possibly clasping the left thumb on top of right. Allow the chest to open up, neck to open up, and breathe all the way to the heart space and even past. As the hands stay bound, we're going to open up to warrior two legs. Take a breath in, lift the heart space up. Then leading with the heart, bow forwards towards the inner left knee for humble warrior. Pull your hands to low back. Come on back up and stretch the arms out. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg, toes pivot to the long edge of the mat, but the heels come in, and bend your knees a lot. Squeeze your glutes. Find that soft bend in the elbows again for our goddess squat, and gentle pulse up and down. All right, we'll move a little bit faster in these lateral bends, to each side. So take your left arm to your left thigh, right arm comes by the ear, and right away we're swaying to the other side. Right arm to right thigh, left arm by the ear. Repeat that again. Press into the feet, stand nice and tall, and swivel the toes ahead of the heels as your hands find your waist. Take a breath in, lengthen to the sky. As you breathe out, fold from the waist over your legs. Let your fingertips find the ground. You could lengthen out the spine just as you had, or walk your hands back a little bit further towards the heels. Use the grippy mat to bring the head down and tailbone up. Wander your fingers forwards, find length from the tailbone through the crown of your head, and then swivel yourself back around to face your left foot in a lunge. As the hands plant, left foot steps back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Toes go to the left, heels to the right. Bend your knees. Toes go to the right, heels to the left. Bend your knees. Swivel the heels behind the toes. Take a breath in to lift them up. And as you exhale, step or hop to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. And rising to stand on your breath in. Exhale, hands rest down beside you. All right. Now this next sequence, a block could be handy if you have one, but not necessary. And I'm just going to keep it close to the right side of my mat there. Feet hip distance. Take a breath in, stretch the arms by the ears, hold onto the left wrist, and bow the body over to the right. Inhale, we'll lift back through center. And exhale, fold forwards over your legs. This time, let the hands really find the ground and bend your knees enough. We're going to start wandering our hands a little bit forwards of your right foot and to the right of your right foot. It may even find the block with one or both hands. Begin shifting your weight into the right foot as the left foot escapes behind you. You could keep a bend in the right knee. And eventually we're going to explore opening up the hip as well. So we're in a really slouchy half moon pose. Keep both hands on the ground. Try to really stretch through the whole left side of the body up towards the sky. And the back leg can lift as much as it likes. So this is a combination of half moon and a standing split pose. It's like an open leg standing split. Let's hang out here. One more breath, really stretching through that top side of the body, the left side. And with control, we're going to step back, warrior two. So bend the front knee, reach back at the back toes as the foot lands. Take your left arm up and back. Warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms to the sun. And exhale, re-bend that knee. Warrior two. Do that 2 more times. As you come back to warrior two, both hands cartwheel to the mat and we're adding on. So plant the hands. Step your front foot halfway back to the back one and use your left hand to pivot on. So really plant it as the toes turn to the right, heels to the left, so your hips stack, and stretch your right arm on top. Take that arm now overhead by the ears. The hands reach towards the ground on the right side of the body, reaches towards the sky. And then exhale, let the hips dip down as you reach towards your back toes. 2 more like that. Inhales, reach the right side of the body up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale. And this time, hips lower all the way down. So we're still leaning onto our left hand, right sole of the foot's on the ground. Take this spare hand to scoop up that ankle. We're going to bring it back behind us with a bend in the knee. And then bend the front knee as well. So we're leaning onto the left hip with 2 rough 90-degree angles into our legs. Crawl your hands ahead, tenting into the fingers. Inhale, let the chest inflate. Exhale, come a little closer to that front shin. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. And you can get a little bit closer to the ground, maybe resting your hands or your head on your hands or even onto that block. And let everything slow down for a moment. Let the embers burn. Let's start lifting back to the palms. Now we're going to bring both hands behind you and then start windshield wipering your legs open. Stop when you're halfway, which means you're facing the back of the mat. Wiggle the soles of your feet together so it looks like you're coming into a cobbler pose. Then lean back into the left fingertips for a moment. We'll take the right palm to the inner right knee. Give a little pressure there, but resist that pressure, coming into really active stretch to begin. Let's switch sides. Your right hand comes behind you. Left hand now finds the inner knee. And press as you resist. And let go. Both hands come back behind you. Knock your right knee back onto your left. So you're sitting onto the left hip. Both hands crawl back to the top of the mat and pop on up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Swivel the toes to the right. Bend your knees. Swivel the toes to the left. Bend your knees. Let the heels come behind the toes. Take a breath in to lift them tall. And exhale, traveling forwards to meet the hands. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, coming all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands come down beside you. So bring that block now to the left side of your mat. Feet hip distance. Inhale, stretch the arms up, hold onto the right wrist. Exhale the body over to the left. Inhale, rise through center. Exhale, fold from the waist over your legs. Bend the knees a lot. Walk your hands a little further ahead and towards the left side. Shift your weight into the left leg as the right leg stretches back behind any amount, and begin rotating that hip open. Keep the hands grounded, whether it's on a block or the ground, and really stretch the right side of the body now up towards the sky. We're going to transition towards warrior two. So bend the left knee, send the right foot back as it lands. The right arm stretches to the sky, up and back. Warrior two, right away. Inhale, straighten the front leg as the arms stretch up. Exhale, bend the front knee. Two more like that. Cartwheel the hands down, touch the earth. Plant the palms as the front foot steps halfway back. Lean into the right palm as all 10 toes swivel to the left, heels to the right. Stack the left arm on top. Reach the arm overhead. Lift the left side of the body to the sky for a breath in. And exhale, hips dip down, reach towards your back foot. Inhale, expand and lift. Exhale, lower down. These are the last moments of this wild flame burning before we find those embers and settle into them. Now, this next time the hips come close to the ground, let them kiss the earth as you lean onto the right palm. Scoop up that left ankle with your hand. Bring the leg back behind and bend both knees. 90-90. Hands walk forwards, tent into them. Inhale, inflate into the chest. Exhale, come closer to the front shin. Do that about 3 more times. Begin lowering down, maybe onto a block or your palms, and settle in, lengthening out your inhales and exhales. Begin lifting back up. Your hands go back behind you to a half windshield wiper open to face the back of your mat and wiggle the soles of the feet together. Press your finger pads into the ground behind you. Try to lift the spine out of the hips. Take a breath or two here, just trying to loosen up those tighter areas. Then lead with the heart way past those toes as you fold forwards. Begin lifting tall again. Hands come behind you as your left knee flops over to your right. Both palms crawl back to the front of the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. One final opportunity for a flow if you would like to take it. Inhale forwards to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale for a back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Toes swivel to the left. Bend your knees. Toes swivel to the right. Bend your knees. Swivel the heels behind the toes. Inhale to lift them up. And we're going to step or hop through to a seat. All right. Swiggle our toes all the way to the front. Anchor those feet down. Reach your arms forward. We'll very slowly roll to the back. Allow your shoulders and your head to rest there. And then bring your right knee into your chest, clasp your hands around. I'm going to wiggle my left leg straight, but you could also keep a bend in that knee so the sole of the foot rests on the ground. Now let's bring a gentle pulse into this wind removing pose. Inhale as you release slightly. Exhale, draw it closer. The thigh can come a little bit wide of the hip if that's more comfortable. And we're slowing everything down, so let the breath rate slow as well. Keep your left hand onto that shin as the right hand comes to the ground. We're going to pull that leg across the body towards the left, coming into a spinal twist. Keep both shoulders on the ground, and you can either look up towards the sky or over your right shoulder. Roll yourself all the way back. Now take the right hand to the shin, slide it down towards your ankle, and reach for the outer foot. We're going to lift it up towards a half happy baby. Now yet again, the leg could be straight or let the knee fall out the other way as a counterbalance. Let's let go of that foot. Bend both knees so both feet find the ground, and just knock the knees from side to side a couple of times. Lift them back through center. Now it's the time for the left leg to come in. Decide what you want to do with the other leg, straight or bent knee. Find that pulse again. Inhales to release the leg, and exhale, pull it nice and close. Keep moving, keep breathing. Steady your breath and allow the mind to start settling, getting a little bit quieter. Take your left hand to the ground and the right hand still holding on to that shin. Draw the leg across towards the right, finding a spinal twist with both shoulders rooted, looking up towards the sky or over your left shoulder. You can slowly start rolling to the back. Take your left hand to the shin, slide it down towards your outer foot or ankle, and we're lifting the foot up towards a half happy baby. Decide what you want to do with the other leg. Maybe it's bending the knee and letting it drop to the other side. Let go of your foot. Both feet find the earth. Let the knees just drop a couple of times to each side before we lift both feet into the air for a full happy baby. Hands grab the outer feet or ankles. Get any wiggles out. You can kick through the heels, rock from side to side, and maybe even straighten both legs. When you're feeling settled, the fire is burning low, just bring the soles of the feet together and let the outer edges find the ground in this really open shape. Bring both hands over yourself, so one onto the heart, one onto the belly, and breathe into that space. Think about your passions, your ambitions, those things that we've dedicated this movement practice to. As you settle in, I'll leave you with a few words. Live for a few days in the meditation. I am immersed in the flame of time, the flame of love, the flame of life. The universal fire flows through me. Step into that fire wholeheartedly, starting with the big toe, then surrendering everywhere. Only the not self, which doesn't exist anyway, burns away. Attend to this continually and awaken into tranquility. Your essence is renewed in the flame, for it is flame and knows itself as flame since the first heartbeat of creation. Imagine the entire world consumed by flame. Stay steady, do not waver. As fire transmutes form into light, the soul reveals itself as radiance. The Radiant Sutras, verse 29 and 30. Rest here as long as you're able to today. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to doing this again soon.